Ninjas, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 simple things you absolutely must understand to get your e-commerce store make more money. I know that many of you guys have invested a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of sweat equity into your business, and it's not working the way you were expecting. But literally in these next 15 minutes or so, I will completely change the way you think about your business and how you actually generate sales and profits. So some of the students, guys, that we've worked with have gone to literally make about 30,000 per month just implementing the knowledge that they learned in this video and that you are about to learn. So guys, regardless, if you're new to e-commerce or you've been in the game for a while, stick until the end because this information will completely change the way you run your business. Hey, my name is Sylvia Myers and I'm one of the co-founders of the Traffic Ninjas. If you're new to us and new to this channel, we talk about the little known untapped ways in e-commerce and how to make it work for you even if you've got limited resources. Guys, join us on our path as we discover the little known and hidden ways to do this. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you never miss out. Also, do give us feedback, comment below, let us know how you like this video so that next time we can make it even better for you. Okay, so you need your store to make more money, right? So first, we're going to be breaking this down to show you the main levers you operate with and how your store essentially works behind the scenes and how they're all very different but super important. Then we're going to take you through one of the biggest mistakes online store owners make that honestly stalls not just their sales but also their profits. And I really do hope that after you finish watching this video that you will never ever make that mistake again. Number 3, I'm going to be showing you a real step-by-step case study for you to really understand what is it that's your domino. We call this a domino because really it's going to knock down everything else for you to be making sales and profits. Now 4, we talk about the only number you'll ever have to know in e-commerce because there are many and I know some of you get overwhelmed, but really we're going to talk about the only number you ever have to know in e-commerce. Why is it so important and how will this help you make money? And guys, finally, we'll talk about the only target you need to be aiming for and what are the benchmarks inside your online store that will allow you to make more money fast. So let's go through this step by step. Okay, so if you need your store to be making more money, first we need to break it down into the levers that are actually behind how to make money with your online store. And these are super important and there are really just 4 main levers. And these are traffic or visitors to your store, conversion rate, average order value, and repeat customer rate. Okay, so let's have a look how these 4 levers really work together. So if you start thinking about how this works, visitors are essentially any people who will come across your brand and who will come to your website. These are super important. Why? Because so many people say, hey, I've got traffic but no sales, but then you actually realize that not so many people have visited their store. So imagine that all of these visitors or this traffic, this is essentially kind of the foot traffic, people who think about it in a shopping store would have stumbled across your store and walked right in. So our first goal and your first lever is like, how can I actually get as many of these people to come to my store? And not just any people, but as many of my ideal customers as possible. So that is your target number 1. Then we are talking about a conversion rate, and that's your next lever. Like, what is my conversion rate? That essentially is a percentage of these people who came to your store who essentially purchased something, okay? So it's called a conversion rate and it's a rate which means that it's 1 out of 100. Now, so many people think like, hey, I've had 30 visitors to my store, but I've got no sales. But really, we need to be talking about hundreds and thousands of visitors to be able to understand what's your real conversion rate, okay? So we are talking about ideally you want to have 1% plus conversion rate, and we'll talk about it more just in a minute. But essentially 1% conversion rate means that 1 out of 100 people will buy something. So again, your second lever is the ability to influence your conversion rate and making as many people who visit your store buy something. Now, the third lever is understanding your average order value. So essentially, okay, now I've got 2 people who have purchased something. What did they purchase? Did they walk away with 1 t-shirt, or did they walk away with a whole wardrobe? Because this is dramatically different, okay? And it really influences the profitability of your store. Some stores have an average order value really low, something like $30 or less. Some stores have an average order value of $300 plus, and few furniture stores, for example, can have even like, $2,000 plus. Okay, so your average order value is again a lever, because if you get more people to your store and more of those visitors buy something, and then those who bought get them to buy more stuff, then you're essentially making more money. Okay, and we're going to be breaking this down, how you can make it simple and easy for you to really make money fast and work on your domino, as I mentioned already before. Now, after average order value, we've got the last one, which is like the repeat customer rate. So those are essentially these serious people who purchased, and then they come to your store and they will purchase something again. Okay. Now, typically, if your product is a great quality product, and if you've got good or acceptable customer service, then they will most likely come back. Okay, so that's very important, that you don't want a store that's just going to be selling something once, but you want to make sure that your customer is going to come back again and again and again. Why? Because that's where pure profit comes into place, because most typically people essentially pay to get visitors inside their store, then they have a kind of like regular conversion rates, regular of average order value. So it's not until they get all of these customers to purchase from them again that they really start making serious money. Okay, but for now, guys, I really need you to understand that these are the 4 levers, and let's have a look how these 4 levers operate in a domino, and also what is one of the biggest mistakes that online entrepreneurs make that literally stalls their sales. Okay guys, time for honesty here. I've promised you that I'm gonna talk to you about that number 1 mistake that online entrepreneurs make that completely stalls their sales and profits. And you've got to be really honest with me. So have you guys ever been really busy doing like any of these, like perfecting your images, your themes, your logos, like really updating all the time any of your like brightness, images, angles, any of this kind of stuff? Also spying on every visitor from your store backend system, like, oh, we've got a new visitor, like, hang on a minute, that visitor just came in, oh my god, they added something to cart, they dropped off. Do let me know if you've ever done this. Feel free to comment below. Also, looking at every single comment, share, or like on any of your posts on social media. Like, I've seen so many times that like online entrepreneurs just like share a post and then their mom comments on it, and then they whip all of these friends like, hey, you didn't comment on this again, and then you keep looking at who liked it, who commented, who shared it, sometimes even doing that with your ads as well. Watching a ton of YouTube videos only to get overloaded with information. Have you ever done that before? You are watching a YouTube video right now, but have you ever done that to the point that you were like, oh my god, what am I doing right now? Also panicking, panicking and changing images, like, oh my god, I'm not getting any sales, so maybe I need to lower my pricing, maybe I need to change descriptions, maybe there is no market for this product, and then rinse and repeat until you're not sure anymore. Guys, so if you've ever done any of these, I call this mambo jumbo, and you've got to stop now, okay? Please do stop now, okay? Even if you didn't implement 50% of what you're learning here today, but you stop doing this now, you already will be getting more traffic and sales to your store. So guys, this is the number 1 mistake that I need all of you to avoid. If you've ever done this, just comment below, let me know, tell me if you've done the mambo jumbo, and let's have a look in the other parts of this video as to what you need to do to really get those sales and profit for your online store. That's why, guys, rather than working just about on anything and everything, you've got to always identify what is your domino. What is it that is going to make you the most money, and what is the one thing that will put everything else into place, right? because otherwise as a small business owner, like you can go crazy and you don't have that kind of resources to be working in everything at one time. So I've promised you a real case study modeling, so let's have a look at that. Okay, so let's presume that I am getting into my store 1,000 visitors. So let's say I am getting into my store 1,000 visitors. Okay, and we'll talk about where to get these visitors from later. So we get 1,000 visitors, and out of these 1,000 visitors, remember this is the first lever, it's traffic or visitors to your store. Let's say I've got a 3% conversion rate, because we did say that conversion rate is your next lever. Okay, so 3% conversion rate, that means that I have just gotten 30 new customers. Okay, 3% out of 1,000 is 30 new customers. Now, let's say that my average order value, which is on average how many products these people add to their basket and buy. So let's say my average order value is $100, which means that I've just made $3,000. Okay, I've got 30 sales and I've just made $3,000. Now, let's, on top of that, also presume that your repeat customer rate, that your products are great and your customers are getting back, that your repeat customer rate is 20%, which is actually quite good. So if your repeat customer rate is 20%, then you're gonna make additional 6 sales, which with the average order value of 100 has resulted into another $600. So this is where it becomes really important, because right now, if we like put it here on the side, right now you've made $3,600. Okay, but with $3,600 you also have made 36 sales, so this is your revenue, and then we need to start talking about your costs. Okay, so you also made 36 sales, so you need to understand what is that cost of that sale. So for example, how much did you pay for those products? If each of these products you bought them at $20 and you just sold 36 of them, then it would be $720, for example, right? So cost of your product or costs of goods sold could be $720. And then of course you need to put into the account any kind of advertisement costs that you spend on getting the right traffic to your store. By the way, if you're looking on how to get the right traffic to your store, we've got a video for that, just saying if that's something what you want to explore. All right, so can you guys see when we talk about domino, or in other words, what is the one thing that will knock everything down? So many people start working on their conversion rates, because so many online entrepreneurs say, I've got traffic but no sales, but in reality they only got 20 people to their store, or they got 70 or 100 people to their store, and might not even be the right visitors, the right customers. Okay, so when you look at these two levers, always remember that you've got to be working on your domino. Perhaps if you are already at that stage that you are turning over more than $5,000-$10,000, and if that is the case and your conversion rate is not really that great, or your average order value is low, then that potentially could be your domino. Okay, what you also have to understand is that the conversion rate and the average order value are, in a sense, sometimes a little bit opposite levers. What it means is that when a conversion rate increases, typically the average order value decreases. Why is that? Because if you've got a really well optimized store for a couple of products that are selling really well, you might find that the conversion rate is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7%, but at the same time, average order value might only be $20 to $30. So in my opinion, you are always looking for some sort of a happy medium, and we'll talk about some of the benchmarks in just a moment. So first of all, guys, what you've got to understand is what is your domino. Like, write this down for yourself. how many visitors are you getting to your store, what is your conversion rate, what is your average order value, and then are you getting any repeat customers coming back? Because for some of you who are already making thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a month, but perhaps you are not tapping into repeat customer rate, then your domino could be here. For some of you guys who have a great conversion rate, you've got highly quality traffic, but you've got very low average order value, then this would be really your domino, because then you can create a couple of upsells to really make your store much more profitable. So for each of you guys, write this down step by step wherever you are with your store and work out what is your domino. If you have questions, if you want to double check with me, if that's your domino, if you're thinking the right way, just feel free to comment below and I'll make sure that I answer every single comment. That's why, guys, as I promised, there is only one number that you really have to know for your store in order to make more money, and that's your break-even point. Break-even point. I know it sounds so super simple, but so many entrepreneurs just kind of know it, but really don't know it exactly. Now, some of you will also hear about this as a break-even ROAS. Those two are very similar, and I'll take you through this calculator. If by any chance any of you guys want this calculator, just comment below, let us know, calculator or calculator please or whatever, and we'll share this with you. More than happy to do that. But the reason why you need to understand what is your break-even point is so that you can really work with your levers inside your store. So think about it this way. Everywhere in this where you see the yellow parts, that's where you enter your information, okay? So let's say my average order value, we talked about it before, on average what people buy is $59, and typical cost of those goods, let's say they buy 2 t-shirts, typically it costs me $9.90, and it typically costs me additional $2 in shipping, and I typically on average give 3% discount. You also need to put into it the packaging, any prints or inserts or any other fees, okay? Any other fees that you've got, if you've got warehousing fees, if you've got your VA fees, whatever those fees are, just typically put them in there and mainly make sure that you are associating those costs just with that order, okay? So if you, for example, get 100 orders a month, then any of those other fees need to be divided by 100, okay? And then here you also want to put in your payment processing rate and your return rate. This is very important because sometimes we forget about this, and at the end of the month we're like, how come I didn't make any money? I've made so many sales. So in this case, we would be making a total revenue of $57.23. We would be making the total cost of goods would be $20.69, which makes a gross profit of $36.54, and the percentage is 63%, which is the gross profit. Now, some of you are like, wow, gross profit like 63%. That's really amazing. But hang on a minute. What you've got to also understand is that your average order value is only $59. So with these numbers, deducting all the costs, actually you can only afford to spend to acquire a customer $36. Which means that, for example, if you're running Facebook ads, if you're running Instagram, TikTok ads, whatever you are running, if you're paying more than $36 to acquire this customer, you'll be losing money. And this is where so many entrepreneurs get it wrong. Some people also talk about this as the break-even ROAS. Like if you are good at running ads, or if you want to learn more, by the way, we've got a video for that. But this number, you can also look at it from both ways. You can either look at, hey, what is my break-even ROAS if I'm running ads? Or if I want to make more money for my store, how much can I actually afford to drive that new traffic to my store? So super important. So guys, no matter what, this is the only number that you really got to know in your business. You've really got to nail your break-even point to make more money for your store. Okay, and I promised you some targets. Okay, so we need to have some targets to really understand how to make more money with our store. So when you start looking here at your dashboard, like some of you guys are on Shopify, some of you are on WooCommerce. So this is a Shopify screenshot, but it works the same in WooCommerce. Most of you guys just look at this number like, oh, what are the total sales that I've been getting? And what are the online store sessions? So online store sessions are important, right? So this is where we are talking about the traffic or those visitors that are coming to our store. And then it's also super important to understand that conversion rate. We talked about the fact that we are going to give you some benchmarks, okay? So conversion rate and average order value. So in your store, and this is the returning customer rate, in order for your store to be really profitable, okay, we need to make this number as high as possible. We need to make this number as high as possible, this number as high as possible, and this number optimal. Why am I saying optimal? Because if your returning customer rate, if it says 80% here, that means that 80% of all of those people who bought anything from you this month were return customers, which means your business is not really growing and not really getting the new fresh blood, because it's a percentage of all of those total sales, okay? So speaking about benchmark, guys, you want this return customer rate to be somewhere at 20%, okay? 15 to 20%, that's ideal. But if you are a new store, then don't worry about the return customer rate just yet. You want to be aiming at a conversion rate of very minimum for new store, very minimum 1%. And then slowly but surely you want to be moving to at over 2%, ideally over 3% plus. But if you've got an average order value of, let's say, $100, then 2.2% conversion rate is actually really nice and profitable, okay? So ideally, if you're a branded store, you would be aiming somewhere at 2.2 average conversion rate and higher. And in terms of your average order value, again, guys, we're thinking here as high as possible. Why? Because remember your break-even point and how much can you afford to acquire a new customer. And traffic is always going to cost you money. So average order value, guys, if you're not getting average order value of minimum of like $50, that's a very bare minimum, then please return to the drawing board and look at what else can you offer together with your product to bump up that average order value at least for $50, okay? Now, $100, it's kind of like an average order value. It's fine. If you're at 100, start thinking about what is it that I can do to bump this up to 120. And then, of course, we are talking about the volume here, okay? So you want to make sure that you get as many sessions as possible. And again, ideally, you want to be aiming at a very bare minimum for 1,000 visitors per month. Otherwise, really, we've got a no discussion here about how to make more money for your online store. Now, guys, if you're already making like 5, 10, 20 grand a month, then I would be encouraging you to look at the split as to where this traffic is coming from and not be reliant on paid traffic alone, but also explore how to get more organic traffic from SEO. Again, if you're interested, we've got a video for that. Okay, so are you ready to make more money with your online store? Remember, there are 5 steps. So first, you need to understand the lever. What are they? What is traffic? What is conversion rate? What is average order value? And what is repeat purchase rate? Then you've got to understand what are some of the biggest mistakes that entrepreneurs make and avoid those at all costs. 3, you've got to understand that domino for yourself. So draw out a case study. What does it look like for yourself? And make sure you work on that one biggest thing first. 4, you also need to understand your break-even point. And if you want that calculator, I'm more than happy to send it to you. And finally, you need to understand the targets and benchmarks so that they are the right levers and you are rightly aiming at what's going to make most sales for your store. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't yet, give us a like and a subscribe button. And if you want to learn more about how to get more money for your online store, have a look at the 7 tips to get more sales. And I'll talk to you soon.